is the gold standard still the best sort of CRC to be found? So I believe that was, so look, I'm not a great fan of certification in general. And what I believe with a lot of the projects that we're looking at with My Carbon Zero is, look, if someone happened to have a certification, they wouldn't be cancelled out from being a My Carbon Zero project. But what I do know is they've probably spent a lot of money and a lot of time to get that project developed, and a lot of money on getting audited. And in some cases, it can be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars go into these processes. And then they get a carbon credit. When they finally do get the money, it's not very much. I'd rather see those hundreds of thousands of dollars going into tree planting and community building in Western Australia, or in helping small farmers put biochar into their soils. So we're not a great fan here at My Carbon Zero certification processes because they've got great holes in them. And I know folk working in this area trying to develop projects, and it's seldom that the numbers add up. And a lot of the development is about making the worst case scenario so that they can say, look, if you don't invest in this project, this is going to happen. But if you do, then the difference is this. So the aim is to make that difference as big as possible so that you can sell more credits. So it's all a bit chickens' entrails pointed towards Venus. The gold standard is pretty good. There's some good things out there, but it's not required for a My Carbon Zero project, because we want Sandra and Eloise and our future project partners to be investing their scarce money and scarce time in the great work that they're doing, not torturing themselves trying to get certified. I hope that helps.
Could I just add to that, Scott?
Please.
So the debate on the certification of carbon removal credits in the voluntary market, that we're all operating in the voluntary market, not the regulated market, which is comes out of the Paris Agreement and so on, and gives industry certain targets. But within the voluntary market of carbon credits, both Gold Standard and Vera, yes, are the largest players, in that they're the ones that are currently emitting the largest quantity of certificates for carbon sequestration generally. But neither of them currently have a methodology for biochar. So this is, just to build on what Scott's saying. In the case of Gold Standard, they are developing a process to develop the methodology for recognizing biochar as a carbon removal technology, but I estimate it'll be a year or two before it's ready. So that's Gold Standard. And also, as Scott was saying, the prices that the projects are getting, because it only makes sense if you really have large volumes, are around $10 a ton. In the case of Vera, which is now kind of taken over, as someone said in the chat as well, I think it's perhaps even larger than Gold Standard. I do know now that they've just agreed to develop a methodology for biochar, but again, it will cost a significant amount, and it's going to take some time. And what we don't have, going back to Scott's first slide, is time. And I think yes, certifications exist, and they're developing protocols and methodologies and so on. But at the same time, what we need is, companies and organizations like Trillion Trees, like Hust, to be removing carbon from the atmosphere today. And where we are with biochar, because it's quite pioneering in the carbon sequestration, tree planting has much more history. We're kind of carving the way. So we're delighted to be on this platform, because this does give us the potential to to access funds for the carbon that we're sinking. And we're not entirely against certification, but at the moment there is no certification for biochar in Cambodia. So what we've done is we've actually worked with the European Biochar Certificate that does have a carbon sink certificate. They've never done anything outside Europe or the US, and we've said, look, we'll pioneer your methodology. We'll just to go through the process to understand how we calculate best the carbon that we're removing. So we're working with the existing methodologies out there, but the point is that there aren't many. And also, just as Scott said, they're wieldy, they're slow, and sometimes the prices are really very low. So I think it's great that we create initiatives like this that that kind of can go faster perhaps than some of these existing mechanisms.